Welcome. So I was having a conversation with someone, and what came up, I'm just like glued to Debbie's little window here to see what's going on. And out of that conversation came, well, actually, the conversation stemmed from the Rasa Yoga class that I taught last week, Friday. Having the confidence and the courage to rise and face whatever is going on in your life head on and stuff like that. And so this conversation, we were talking about that. We were also talking about the fact that we tend to repeat the same patterns, or we get to a certain point in our life, or a certain situation comes up, and we, rather than taking a different response or a different road or path, we tend to take the same path all the time, and we're not progressing, we're not getting any better, we're not learning anything, we're not improving, changing, transforming. That's the buzzword, transforming into anything in particular. So we just continue to stay small, we continue to stay stuck, and aren't living our full life. We can't live a full life because we're not allowing ourselves to become whole. So that has been on my mind ever since. And I've got this mashup in my head of the theme for today. And what I came up with was break down the barriers of the heart, because that is where everything comes from. The heart center, the heart space, the heart chakra, whatever you want to refer to it as, everything comes from there. And once we can get right in that spot, a lot of things will change. So that got me thinking about Ganesh and the fact that he is the remover and as well the placer of obstacles. And so today's practice is going to be kind of like harnessing the energy of Ganesh to help us remove these obstacles that are stopping us from pursuing, from going through. Or there is this saying where, and I can't remember the name of the person that said this quote, but you have to pretty much enter the cave of the heart to get to who you are. So we're gonna call on Ganesh to help us break down these barriers, so we can finally get in and do the work, so we can become whole, so we can transform all of those things that are holding us back, to help us progress in our life and become whole, and to live fully and to enjoy the rasa, the juice, the nectar of life. So that's the intention for today's class. Yeah, all of that. So that being said, the mudra, Ganesh there's a mudra and a root mantra that is dedicated, if you will, to Ganesh. And we're going to hold the mudra. So first of all, take your hands up. Let's just open and close your fingers a little bit. Maybe wriggle them around, maybe move through the wrist, just get them nice and pliable, and really focus on the bending of the fingers, because we cup the hands like a monkey grip, and then we will hook them into each other. Okay, so close the hands, the fingers together, cup them. Turn your left palm to face out at the heart. And then bring the right, and you're going to connect. Okay, and this mudra, just to give you a few tips about this mudra helps to promote confidence, courage, and it breaks up stuck energy and heaviness in the heart area. And it can also be helpful for low self-esteem, if you feel hopeless. Sometimes these situations can feel quite hopeless, and sadness in the heart. And the seed mudra, the root mantra for Ganesh is Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And here is this young lady. Here she is. Let her in. Okay. So how we're going to use it, you're holding the mudra, it's hovering at the front of the heart space, at the root of the heart. And it's just a gentle clasp right now. So we're going to do this 3 times, and then we'll flip it. So the first time, you take a full breath in, and on the exhalation, you pull the hands as if you want to separate them, but they remain hooked. So you feel all the energy come through the shoulders into the shoulder girdle. So let's take a deep breath in, and on the exhalation, just pull apart and hold that pull. And you can choose to say the mantra with me, or you can just receive it. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Inhale, release, and exhale, draw, pull it apart, hold the pull. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. and release. One more time, full breath in. And exhale, pull it apart. Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And release. Go ahead and switch it. And one side always feels very awkward compared to the next. This one definitely feels a bit awkward for me. So again, once you get it in, hook the fingers into each other. Take a full breath in. And exhale, pull apart. Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull it apart. Shoulders back and down. Lift the heart up towards the mudra. Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And release. And on the last one, we'll just hold it and bask in the resonance of the mudra and the mantra. Big breath in. And exhale. Draw the hands, pull the hands apart. Lift the heart up to the mudra. Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Just keep pulling it apart. Hold it here. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and release. You can take your hands to the top of your thighs and just close your eyes to a comfortable degree and pause here for a few moments. And now you can open your eyes if you chose to close them and make your way onto your hands and knees. So there may be many things in your life right now that you're finding there's a block or there is resistance. And we're not going to unpack it all today. But if there's something that continues to come back to you, that barrier, we can focus on breaking down that one barrier a little bit, each day until we get to the point where we can enter the cave of the heart and begin to do the work and transform whatever it is so we can become whole. So on your hands and knees with your toes tucked, hips and knees aligned. And then making sure, now the wrists don't need to necessarily be directly underneath your shoulders. They can be wider. However, you do want to make sure that you are creating a straight line from the left to the right wrist. And the fingers are spread super wide. Ganesha is also known for his groundedness and that earthy sensation. So really connect to the earth now. Moving through your spinal movements. Take a full breath in. And exhale, go ahead and round the spine. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. So clearly caught a VAPS. Make your way onto your back. I completely lost my train of thought. I apologize. I don't know where my head went, but we are going to get back to the cat and cow, but I really want you to come here first. I apologize. So on your back, stretch your left leg all the way out. You see, there is an obstacle and I moved it out of the way. Left leg nice and straight. Press your back thigh, the back of the left thigh into the ground. Bring your right knee into your chest. Take your hands either to the back of the thigh, or if you have your strap nearby, and this might be a good way to include the strap, and we may be able to use it this way later. Take it across the ball of the foot and hold as close to the foot as you can and stretch the leg all the way up. You may keep a bit of a bend to the knee and spread your toes wide. So this is Supta Padangusthasana. Make sure the shoulder blades are firmly grounded on the back of your mat. Or on your mat, rather. Notice if there's any sickling through your right ankle, and if there is, chances are the big toe mount is rolling in, so push the big toe mount up into your strap if you are using it. Press the femur bones down into the hip socket, and now tip the pelvis forward to get your lower back to move in. Take one more full breath in and out here. If you are using the strap, take the strap into your right hand. Move the left arm out to the left to help anchor you. Take a full breath in here. Keep the left leg grounded, pelvis grounded, and slowly open your right leg out to the right. Now, I like to bend my elbow and put it down on the ground to kind of help give me a little bit of support. So you can try that. Make sure you're still pushing through the big toe mound as you spread the toes. One more breath. Really center your attention on the inner thigh, the inner right thigh, and pick the leg back up to center from there. Good. You can release the strap from around your leg, hold it up, press both hands now down into the earth, and then very slowly moving, leading with the heel, lower your right leg all the way down. Good. Root your right leg down, and let's repeat that same sequence on the left side. Left knee in, hold on to either the back of the thigh, use your strap, or if you can comfortably reach your foot with your left hand without the shoulder blade coming up off of the mat, please feel free to do that. You want to make sure that you're maintaining the natural curves of your spine in this shape. And I know it's quite a lot after having not done anything in particular to warm up. So bear that in mind, and please go to a degree where you're feeling a bit of a stretch, but you're not really feeling any pull or certainly not any sharp shooting pain. So holding onto the strap as close to the foot as you are able to do so while maintaining the connection of your shoulder blades on your mat. Move the the left hip a little bit away from the rib cage so that the pelvis remains level. Spread your toes and push the ball of your foot into the strap. Shoulders away from ears. Press the thigh bone down into the hip socket and allow the action to help tilt the pelvis slightly forward to lift the lower back off of the mat so the sacrum is heavier. After your next exhalation, take the strap into your left hand, sweep the right arm out and press the palm into the earth. Full breath in, and on the exhalation, slowly lower your left leg out to the left. So you're only going to go as far as your hip will allow, and also the pelvis isn't moving. You want to keep the right butt cheek and leg firmly grounded on your mat. One last clearing breath here, just clearing all the obstacles away. Really engage your inner left thigh, and on the inhale, reach your leg all the way back up towards the sky. Exhale, pause, take your strap away and move it off to the side, but not too far because we will need it again later on in the practice. Good. Take both arms down now and press the palms in, spread the toes. From the heel, slowly lower your left leg all the way down to meet your right. Good. Didn't realize how far my mat was until. Slowly let the body completely relax here for a moment as if you were taking Shavasana. Take a full breath in. And on the exhalation, scoop your knees into your chest, and you can rock and roll along your spine and come up, or roll onto the side and come up. And now let's go back to cat and cow. Got ahead of myself there. So you heard it all before, knees and everything, the wrist, the fingers spread wide. Let's move into our Vidtalasana, our cow pose, and Marjarasana, cat. Moving with your breath, and feel free to cultivate your Ujjayi breath with a Samavriti style, so equal breath in and out. One more of each. Come back to center, kickstand your right foot off of your mat, shoot your left leg back and roll onto the inside edge of your left foot. And now roll your left hip and left shoulder onto the right for a modified Vashisthasana side plank. Really reach the ribs and the left fingertips up, and you can turn to look up towards the left thumb if that feels okay for your neck. Take another breath in, and on the exhalation, push yourself up so you can get a little bit of help by bending the right elbow and pushing yourself off, and then really reaching with the left hand to lift yourself up, moving into gate pose. So the left foot comes down, left hand to left thigh. Inhale, really reach your right arm up, and exhale, arc it over to the left. Keep the right shoulder blade back and down. Press the left foot in and draw the foot in towards your knee so you feel your inner thighs work. On your next inhalation, leading with your right hand is kind of like a cartwheel back down to the mat. And come back to our quadruped or all fours position, and repeat that on the second side. Kickstand the left foot off, sweep the right leg back, root the inside edge, and then roll into your Vashisthasana form. Really reach, be expansive here. When we do this work, we need to be willing to go to all those places. And now bend the left elbow a little bit, give yourself a little boost, and then reach with the right arm, pick yourself all the way up. And as you do, root or ground the right foot. Big breath in, lift up, get super long in your spine, maintain that length and arc it over to your right. Sliding the right hand gently down the right leg. Go ahead and cartwheel back down towards the mat. Come back to all fours. And now take the hips back towards your heels and just stretch the arms a little bit further forward. And this will be to your maximum stretch, but still being able to maintain the connection of the ribs on the back of the shoulder blades on the back of your ribs. Claw your hands into the mat. This is an active child's pose. Take a full breath in, full breath out. Lift your gaze to your thumbs. Inhale, shift forward into an Ardha Forma Palakasana. And I'll pick the hips up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Sweep your right leg up and step it to the outside of your right hand. Rest your left knee down. Keeping the toes tucked. Take a full breath in, lift the heart forward and up. And on the exhalation, shift your hips back, straighten out the right knee, pick up the right toes for an Ardha Hanuman form. Walk your hands and upper body over to about 10 o'clock. Stay up on the tops of your fingers. Move the inner thighs back. Press your right heel down into the earth and draw it to the back of the mat for an isometric hold. Take a full breath in and exhale. It may also feel a bit more comfortable to kickstand the left foot over to the right. Try that. One more full breath in, really lifting up the left side as well as the right and stretching yourself, moving the inner thighs back, making yourself long, really expansive. And now breathe into the heart area. Good. Re-kickstand your left foot and come back to center. Rebend the front knee. Take a full breath in, press down from the pelvis, sweep your arms up. Reach them around behind you, interlace all fingers, curl the heart forward and up as you reach the arms back, opening up the chest. Lift your gaze. Slowly release and step it back into downward facing dog. March it out or stay still or take a couple of Shakti waves. The choice is yours. And then make your way back to center. Let's repeat that on the second side. Left leg lifts. And step it to the outside of your left hand. Rest your right knee. You may need to walk the right knee back a little bit. So go ahead and do that and then shift your hips back. And at the same time, pick the left toes up and spread them wide. Kickstand the right foot over to the left, and now walk over to 2 o'clock, staying up on fingertips. Move your inner thighs back. Allow the spine to get super long and the rib cage move away from the pelvis with breath. Exhale, hold. Once again, full breath in. Last one, inhale. Exhale. On your way back to center, re-kickstand your right leg. Shift forward. Press down, inhale, lift up. Exhale, sweep the arms around, and this time change the way you've interlocked the fingers. Opposite thumb will be on top. Full breath in. Curl the heart forward and up. Reach the knuckles away. Lift your gaze. And then slowly release. Plant your hands and step it back to downward facing dog. Shakti waves, or maybe if you're feeling a little bit in the mood for vinyasa, that option is also there for you. Please step your feet as wide as your sticky mat and walk your hands back towards your feet. Once you arrive, be really particular about the edges of your feet and make sure that they are lining up with the edges of your mat. Bend your knees a little bit just to remove the lock from them. Shift your weight into your heels and walk your hands counter reach by stretching the arms way forward up onto the tops of your fingers. This is a functional forward fold. With each breath, expand your rib cage as wide as you can. And on the exhalation, tone your low belly and draw the low ribs in. Continue to hinge and shift your weight into your heels and counter by the stretching of your arms forward. 2 more rounds of breath here. Full breath in. Exhale. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Reground the 4 corners of your feet. Take your hands to your shins. And now with a long spine, just come up halfway. Slide the hands to the top of the thighs. And you can push your hands down on the thighs and the shoulders will shrug up to the ears. That's okay. We're going to take it into a little bit of a cat-cow movement here. So turn the toes out ever so slightly. So this is like a little baby goddess. Take a full breath in, curl the heart forward and up, and on the exhalation, allow yourself to come all the way down. It's like an undulating spine type movement. And then inhale, come all the way up, or an oceanic wave if you like. And exhale down. You can switch the breath around. It doesn't really matter as long as you're breathing with the movement. When we start to do work on ourselves, it can be quite weird and uncomfortable and daunting, and we find all sorts of things to do to avoid. We procrastinate, because even though we want to push past that barrier, break it down, part of us doesn't want to either, because we don't know what we're going to find. But we have to have that sense of curiosity and be able to just push past it. One last one. Inhale up. Exhale it all the way down. Fingertips to the earth, walk the feet back. Keep them, walk them back to hips distance. Look forward and walk out and find your way into a plank. From your plank, lift your hips up for downward facing dog. Bend the knees, lift your gaze to the thumbs, and either step or hop to the top of your mat. And when you do, feet land on the outside of your hands. Turn your toes out, heels in, and lower down into Malasana. Perhaps you may need to grab an ally and wedge a block or a blanket or something underneath your heels if they're not connecting. Take the arms wide like wings, and I'll wrap your right arm underneath your left. Lower the left shoulder and come into Garudasana arms, eagle arms. This work is awkward and it's uncomfortable, much like this combination might be feeling for you right now. Take the elbows towards the front. So separate the shoulder blades, move them away from each other and lift them up. Breathe into the back of the heart, create space. Full breath in, and on the exhalation, uncurl the wings, lean over to the left, take the left arm and the fingertips to the earth and reach the right arm up and look over to the right thumb. Really push the left knee out. Good. Come back to center. Switch the way you wrap your wings. So now the left arm underneath the right, lower the right shoulder a little bit. Separate. So protract through the shoulder blades. Lift the elbows up without letting the shoulders lift. Full breath into the back of the heart, creating lots of space for exploration. And now exhale, open up, sweep the right fingertips to the earth. Left arm moves up. One more breath. And then slowly come back in. Take the palms to meet an Anjali Mudra. Push the knees out, press the palms into each other. Let's not forget the pinkies. And slowly release. Fingertips to the earth. Slowly lift your hips up, heel toe back to hips distance. Uttanasana, forward fold here. Inhale, ardha form of your fold. Exhale, fold deeply once again. Bend your knees and inhale slowly. Come all the way up. Circle the arms around and up. Palms meet and exhale. Bring the hands into the heart. Spin the left palm out, hook the fingers, and hook the right into, making your way into your Ganesha mudra at the heart center. Take a full breath in. Now the exhalation, lift the heart up to the mudra and pull apart. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. We're breaking down the barriers of the heart so we can enter the cave of the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Exhale into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale your left foot to the back of the mat, rest your knee. Draw strongly into the midline and inhale, sweep both arms up, Anjaneyasana. On the exhalation, take it into downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale into Polakasana plank, rest your knees. And exhale into Chaturanga, an ardha form. Come all the way down, stretch the legs away. Inhale, pick the shoulders up, Bhujangasana. Slowly release on the exhale. Take another breath here and exhale, lift up into downward facing dog. Sweep your left leg up without opening up your hips or rotating through your pelvis, and step your left foot to the top of your mat. Rest your right knee. Inhale, sweep your arms up, catch a hold of your right wrist, and exhale, arc it over to the left. Inhale back to the middle, switch your grip, and now arc it over to your right. Inhale back to center, and exhale, step it forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold, ground down, inhale, rise all the way up. And bring it into the heart. Second side. Inhale, circle your arms around and up. And exhale it all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot steps back, rest your knee. With a sense of groundedness, hug into the midline and inhale, sweep it all the way up into your low lunge, Anjaneyasana. And exhale it back into downward dog. Inhale into your plank, rest your knees. Exhale, Ardha Chaturanga Dandasana. Come all the way down. Inhale, Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Like the cobra that crossed Ganesha's path and caused him to fall off of his feet, a mouse, and spill all of his sweets out of his belly. Pick your right leg up and step it forward. Ganesha loved his sweets. Rest your left knee down. Hug into the midline and inhale, sweep it up. Take a hold of your left wrist. Inhale, grow long in the spine, and exhale, reach over to your right. Inhale, back up to center, switch your grip, and reach up and over to your left. Inhale, back to the middle, and exhale, plant the fingertips. Press down into your right leg and step forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold deeply. Bend your knees and inhale, rise up. We're going to do one more round just to make sure we're super duper warm. Oops. Wardrobe malfunction. Inhale, reach up. Exhale it down. Inhale halfway. Exhale, left foot steps back. Rest your knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Knees down. If you prefer to keep them off, you can. Exhale into your chaturanga. Inhale into your bhujangasana. Exhale, left leg picks up in your downward dog right away. Step it through to the top of your mat. Take your left thumb to the inseam of your right arm from the wrist. Take a full breath in and trace the thumb up the inseam of the arm to the shoulder. And then exhale across the chest and then let the left fingertips reach up for a twist. Keep squeezing into the midline. Draw the left hip back. Full breath into the back of the heart. Exhale, ground the left hand. Press down and boldly step forward into your forward fold, just as we will be stepping into that cave. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold deeply. Bend your knees. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Last time, second side. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale. Inhale halfway. Exhale, right foot steps back. Knee down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Inhale, plank, knees down. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, bhujangasana. Exhale, pick the right leg up and use it to reach you up into your three-legged dog. Step your right foot forward. Left thumb to the inseam of the, right thumb, good grief, what's wrong with me today? Right thumb to the inseam of your left arm. Inhale, start to trace. On the exhalation, the thumb crosses the collarbones and then reaches all the way up towards the sky. Full breath in. Big exhale. Rest your fingertips down, press into the right foot, step forward into your fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold ever so deeply. Bend the knees. Inhale, rise up. Then exhale, hands to heart. So let's turn, flip the grip. So we had left palm in first. Now for the right, come back to your Ganesha mudra. Actually, this is a great opportunity to also take some water or wipe your brow if you need to. But if you're good, hold your Tadasana pose. Take a full breath in, and on the exhalation, pull it apart, lift your heart up to the mudra as we begin to enter, to break down these barriers bit by bit, so we can push through and transform. And release. Sweep your arms up, palms face in, and exhale, hinge your hips back, sit back into Utkatasana chair. Just take a quick peek down at your knees and just make sure that they're not falling in or they're not splaying out. If they're falling in, just really roll onto the baby toe and outer heel edge of the foot. And if it's the opposite, do the opposite. Take one more breath in, reach up, exhale it all the way down into Uttanasana. Inhale halfway. Exhale, come into Uttanasana again and bend your knees. Listen carefully. We're going into what I call a funky standing split. So take your left hand and come up onto the fingertips and just claw the hands right by their left foot, like kind of like off to the left of the left foot. Bend your knees a bunch. Take the right arm, stretch it out in front of you, and I'll bring the right arm in between the legs. Lift up your right heel and take the hand, the web of the hand to the back of the right heel and reroute the right heel down. So you just put your leg on like a backpack. Lean into the right leg a bit and press down into your left hand. And now slowly pick your left leg all the way up towards the sky. Spread the toes. Keep looking straight down at your mat. And now reach to the back of your mat with your left foot to come into this funky lunge. Draw the right hip back. And now spread, keep the arm underneath the right leg and spread the arms out for like an airplane version of a lunge. Take the arms around behind you and clasp. Hold it. Keep hugging into the midline. It's hard work when we start to work on ourselves. One more breath. Slowly release. Drop your back heel and come on up into warrior two. Woo! Did everybody make it? More or less. As long as you're in warrior two, you made it. Good. So check your alignment here. Make sure you're spot on, heel to heel or front heel to back arch. Good. Take your right hand down. So a block might be handy here. Okay. To the outside of your shin, moving into Utthita Konasana. So if it feels like, maybe I don't need this block, maybe I can comfortably get to the ground, then you can take the block away. But really extend the left arm alongside your ear, palm faces down. Now your right hip might be sticking out. Pull it back towards the to the back of the mat and then draw it in towards the midline. We're not leaving anything uncovered here, we're not leaving anything out. On your next inhalation, slowly straighten out your right knee for Utthita Trikonasana. Stretch the right leg out, but really keep pressing into the big toe mound. And now pick the right arm, the left arm, and reach it up towards the ceiling. If you remember how we propelled ourselves up into gate pose, let's go back to that now. So bend the right knee a little bit, bend the left elbow, and then reach yourself all the way up into Tadasana. Pick up the right toes, turn all 10 toes to face forward. Good. And now turn your toes out, heels in, and lower into Utthita Konasana, goddess pose. Come into your Ganesha mudra. Hold it here. You may close your eyes to a degree of comfort, or you can keep them open to just soften your gaze. And now take a full breath in. On the exhalation, bring the heart up towards the mudra, and let's just hold it here. What is it that I am afraid to push through? Find the courage. Lift the heaviness of the heart. We've got the help of Ganesh to help us here. One more breath. Slowly release. Come back to Tadasana. So feet parallel. Sweep your arms around behind you. Interlace all fingers. Inhale, curl your heart forward and up. Exhale, hinge your hips back. Prasarita Padottanasana form. Pick the shoulders up away from your ears. Hug your outer shins in. Hold the hug and then spin the inner thighs back, creating just a little bit more room for your pelvis, and then full breath into the back of the heart, and exhale, maybe fold a little bit deeper. Bend your right knee and twist your upper body over to the right, much like the trunk of Ganesh. The twisting, turning trunk of Vakratunda, he's also referred to as. Come back through center. Bend the left knee and now twist over to the left. Your bind will go off to your right. And then come all the way back to center. Release your fingertips to the earth. Walk around to face the front of your mat. And step it back. Downward facing dog. Shakti waves or a vinyasa, yogi's choice. Once you come back to downward facing dog, come up super high onto the balls of your feet and step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise all the way up. Sweep your arms around and up. Bring the palms to meet and exhale it into the heart. Inhale, arms sweep up. Palms face in. Exhale, hinge your hips back. Sit back. Utkatasana once again. All right, guys, you ready for it? This funky standing split. Big breath in. Exhale it all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees so that the thighs are just about parallel-ish to the ground. Root down the fingertips of the right hand. Shoot your left arm forward. Palm is facing in, thumb is up. Full breath in and exhale. Bring the arm on the inside. Really lift up the left heel and try to get the arm right underneath the leg as much as you can, and then re-ground your left heel and take the web between the thumb and the index finger and place it to the back of your ankle. Shift your weight into your left foot. Take a full breath in and exhale, sweep your right leg up. Really reach it up, spread the toes nice and wide. One more full breath in. Look to the back of your mat and rest the toes way back there. Keep your left arm underneath, so keep wearing the backpack of your leg. And now stretch the arms out in that airplane form, and then take the hands around to bind. Draw the left hip back and under you. Push strongly into the ball in the mat of the right foot. Full breath in. Exhale, and now inhale, release. Come all the way up, pass through that lunge. Drop the back heel, warrior two. I like taking the scenic route to get there, to get places. And this is what it means. There's a lot of awkwardness, and we have to take our time with this. Doing this work, we didn't get this way. We didn't build this barrier overnight. So it's going to take a while to break it down. Use your ally, your block if you wish. Take a full breath in and exhale. Reach your fingertips to the outside of your shin, coming into Utthita Parsvakonasana. Sweep your right arm forward and all the way around until the bicep is alongside the ear. On your next inhalation, slowly straighten out your knee, moving into Utthita Trikonasana. Notice if your foot has rolled on, much like mine has, into the baby toe side edge, and really move the inner thigh back and press the big toe mound and inner heel into the earth. One last breath here. And now bend the left knee a little bit and push and lift yourself all the way up. Take your hands to your hips. Heels in, toes out, lower into Utthita Konasana. Right palm in and facing out. Come back to Ganesh. Ganesh Mudra. Full breath in, exhale, squeeze and puff the heart up towards the mudra. Hold the mudra, but don't hold your breath. Continue to breathe. And notice the barrier is a little bit lower now. We've cleared away a few layers of it, beginning to peek on the inside. See what's there. Feeling less afraid. A little bit more brave. Slowly release. Feet parallel. Take the arms behind you once again. Interlock the fingers a different way this time. Full breath in and exhale, hinge the hips back and just come halfway this time, not all the way down. So there's a bit of a bend to the knee. Inner thighs are moving back. We're reaching the knuckles way back, almost like a Shalambhasana form, a locust form. Full breath in, full breath out. And now slowly lower it all the way down. Let the fingertips drizzle down to the earth. Catch a hold of opposite elbows and just sway a little bit from side to side, like the sway of the trunk of the elephant. The next time you sway over to your left, come all the way over into that lunge and step it back. Downward facing dog. Rest, flow, or wave it out. So you may need your strap, so make sure it's nearby. More binding coming up. Pick your right leg up, bend the knee and step it through to the top of your mat by your right hand. Make sure you are at hips distance. Hug into your midline and inhale, come all the way up. And now exhale, drop your back heel and open up into warrior two. So you want a pretty generous stance here so that the front thigh is relatively close, well, to parallel to the earth. Full breath in, spin the right palm up and arc it back to Viparita Virabhadrasana, reverse warrior. I think this class might need to be 90 minutes today. Kidding. Inhale through to warrior two, and then come all the way down. This time, bring your right arm on the inside as opposed to the outside like before. Take your left hand to your left hip. Now, if you are using a strap, place the strap in your left hand. We're going into bound form of side angle. So dip just like we put on our leg like a backpack in that funky standing splits, we're going to do that here. So dip down, lowered, upper body comes down way lower than the thigh. Internally rotate through the right shoulder and sweep the arm around behind you. And take the left arm and reach it back and grab. Come into that monkey grip as we do for Ganesh, or hold on to your strap. Once you have that, your butt might be sticking way out. So pull the hip back and draw it in. And as you're doing that, roll the left shoulder back onto the right into your bound side angle form. Baddha Parsvottanasana, Parsvakonasana. Keep pressing down from the pelvis through your legs and grip the floor with your feet. Take an inhale, straighten out your right knee any degree into a bound Trikonasana form. One more breath in. On the exhalation, release the bind. Turn to face the front of the mat. Whew, and come all up into a lunge. We're not done yet. There's more work to do. Shift your weight into the right leg. Step your left knee up. This is going to look familiar real soon. Either stay here where you take your hand to the shin and lift the leg up and sweep the right arm up for a form of Uttita Asta Padangustasana, standing hand to big toe pose. Or take your left hand, bring it on the inside and catch a hold of the baby toe side edge of your left foot. Don't let the hip open up, keep the hip closed. With a slight bend to the right knee, on your next inhalation, start to extend the left leg out. You can keep a bend to the knee. And then take another full breath in, and on the exhalation, switch the leg out to your left. Hold it. Slowly bring your left leg back to center. Swing it up as you let the fingertips come down into your regular standing splits. And now step it to the back of the mat. Find downward facing dog. Take a rest or flow, your choice. Second side. Left leg lifts. Step it through to the top of your mat. Once you're steady there, come on up. And come into your warrior two. But I feel like I forgot something. You'll let me know if I forgot something, right? Turn your left palm up and reverse your warrior. Inhale through warrior two, and now exhale it all the way down into your Baddha Parsvakonasana. So the thing with the strap, it can be awkward using a strap sometimes. So you don't want the strap to be too long. You just want it long enough to bridge the gap between your hands So fold your strap down to like maybe this length and keep it in your right hand, because then it's easier to swing it around to grab. So once you're here, you have to dip the upper body a bit lower, internally rotate through the left shoulder and wiggle the hand around the thigh. I mean, I can turn around and show you what that looks like. The goal, the thing is to avoid being in your bits and pieces with your bind. So you bring the arm around and you wiggle it to about here. Then you take the right arm around and you grab. You give yourself enough room to play with. You can take the hands a little bit closer, and now the butt is sticking out. So you pull the hip back and then pull it into the midline. And at the same time as you're pulling that in, the shoulder rolls back. And then you can turn the gaze and look up. Make sure you're rooting down the baby toe side edge of your right foot and pull everything into the midline. There might be a few shakes. This is scary stuff. Going into the unknown is scary, because some of these barriers we built, we don't even know, we don't remember why we built them. And that's why it's so scary when we work to break them down. Slowly straighten out your left knee to a comfortable degree. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, just enough to feel that opening towards the back of the leg. But you're still working the legs firmly towards each other to protect the hamstrings. Slowly release. Turn to the front of your mat. Come on up into your high lunge. Bring your hands to your heart, shift the weight into your left leg, step the right knee up. So lots of options. With the weight into the left leg, I'm gonna have to write the letter L and R on my legs to get this right. Bring your right knee up. Either stay here and then bring it out to the side, or bring the arm here, but try not to let the knee open up. Keep the knee in, so squeeze, use the inner thigh, squeeze it in. And then slowly extend, and the knee can stay bent when it comes out in front of you. And it can also stay bent when it comes out to the side. You don't have to straighten it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. So I'm gonna go back here. You stay where you are. Bring it back to the front. And now like a pendulum, swing it up as you let the hands come down through your standing splits. Full breath in and exhale, step it back into downward facing dog. Take a quick vinyasa or Shakti waves or rest. Once you've made your way back to downward facing dog, lift your gaze to your thumbs and step or hop to the top of your mat. When you arrive, come back, come into a chair, well, not chair pose, but step the feet a little bit wider. You remember at the beginning of practice, we had our feet wider and we were resting our hands on our thighs. Now take the elbows to the thighs. You're kind of like in a huddle, like a football huddle. Okay, feet are parallel. Feet are also a little bit wider than your hips, maybe shoulder width or a little bit wider. Whew, take a full breath in and a full breath out. Couple more just like that, reconnect with the breath. One more, inhale. And exhale. Stretch your right arm out in front of you, thumb up. Full breath in, full breath out. Just as before, really, really reach, and now bring the right arm to the inside. Internally rotate, and now sweep the left arm around to bind. Once you have your bind, strap or knot, take a full breath in and exhale, turn to the left. So really roll the left shoulder onto the right. And now straighten out both legs to a comfortable degree. Maybe wiggle the feet a little bit wider. This is Vakratundasana. One more breath, and then slowly release. Now take the right heel up. Oh no, hang on. What's happening here? Good. Yeah, sorry, ground your right heel, stay there, and then slowly release. Let everything hang. You can catch a hold of opposite elbows, or you can choose to take a little vinyasa to flush it out, or Shakti waves, and then come back to the top of your mat. Good. Everybody there? Good. Come back to the top of your mat if you chose to take a little flow. And let's repeat that on the second side. Come back, come into that huddle shape. Left arm shoots out, big breath in, inner thighs are moving back and apart. And now exhale, fold, take the arm through, sweep it around. And then bind behind so off to the left of the left butt cheek as much as possible. Take a full breath in, lengthen the spine, and exhale, twist over to your right. You can stay here with the knees bent, or take another full breath in, and on the exhalation, as you hug the outer shins in, you're spinning the inner thighs back and straightening out the legs, but continuing to hold that twist. And release. Ooh, release it. You can hold on to opposite elbows here. Wiggle it out. Now there's another pose that we can play with here if you're up for it. Bird of Paradise. Come back to that huddle. Are we up for Bird of Paradise? Show me a thumbs up. Show me a thumbs down. I got one thumbs up. I'm not sure. Jewel is okay. She's giving me a thumbs up. Good. That's all the right fingers. Okay, good. Glad it's not any other finger. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's try for this Bird of Paradise. So a lot on the shoulders. So let's come up for a moment and just roll them out. And then we're going to go for Bird of Paradise. Now, the thing with Bird of Paradise, when you come upright, make sure you are not using your bind to lift your leg, but you are lifting your leg up on your own. Okay? If you use your arms, your bind to lift your leg, and your leg is not engaged, you're going to put way too much pressure on your shoulder joint. So remember that. Okay? Super important that you remember that. All right, so let's come back to our yogi huddle. Right arm out, bring it in, take the bind, come up onto the ball of the right foot. Make sure you've got the bind off to the right and you're not, forgive me for using this term, in the butt crack. Shift your weight into your left leg, pull the belly in, press down into the left leg and lift the right leg up. Spread the toes nice and wide on your right foot. Maybe it straightens out, maybe it stays bent. And then you release. Now, the thing with using the strap, because my arms are so long, I find it very, 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 very awkward. But again, you don't want a lot of strap here. You want just enough. So I'll try my best to show you. And this strap is 10 feet long. I don't know what the heck I was thinking when I bought this strap. Anywho. So I'll show it from sideways. I'm going to take the strap in my right hand so I can swing it around and grab it with my left. So back in the yogi huddle, left arm out, bring it in, wiggle it around. So this is the wiggle around we did when we were doing our bound side angle. Sweep this hand around and grab. See how close I'm grabbing? I'm grabbing really close. And not all here because this is where it's going to get awkward. So grab close. You just need a little bit to give your shoulder a little bit of a break. Then you push down into the right leg and you lift yourself up. So you come up right and you can stretch the leg out or the knee can stay bent. Yes. Take your time. You can't rush this. Remember, it took years to build a barrier. It will take time to break it down. Take your time. You got to come up slowly. So use your breath. Good. Come up slowly. Spread the toes wide on that leg. And maybe it stretches, maybe it stays bent. It doesn't matter. This is the first time you're doing it in a long time. So just open it out to the side like we did in our Patangustasana and hold it here. Here's your bird of paradise. Yeah, good. And then slowly release. Yes, there you go. Good job. We don't need the strap anymore. Chuck it off to the side. You're done with the strap. Okay. At the top of your mat, inhale, sweep it up. Unless you wanted to give it another go, you can. Inhale up and exhale it all the way down. Inhale, heart curls forward. Exhale, fold, step it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg picks up, open the hip. And then bring the shin, the right shin to the front of your mat for Ekapada Rajakapotasana prep. 2, pigeon pose. It's a whole lot of words for just pigeon pose, right? Left knee down, walk it back. Flex the ankle, spread the toes of the right foot. So draw the knees towards each other. Come up onto your fingertips. Take a full breath in. Lift the heart way up. And then keeping that length, come all the way forward, down onto your forearms. We are going to take this into a bind. However, you do not have to do the bind. I told you to chuck your strap, but maybe I was premature. But I find it's pretty accessible. I feel like we can all get our hand back to that foot. We're going to give it a go. But let's spend a few moments here. Breathe, breathe deeply. Feeling a little bit less hopeless, a little bit more confident, a little bit more courageous. Realizing that when we go after these things bit by bit, just in small little baby bite-sized pieces, it's really not that scary. It's really not that intimidating. After all, it's us. We know who we are. Subconsciously, we know why we built that barrier. And as painful and as difficult as it may be to face it, we know that whenever we do, whatever happens on the other side, we're going to be better for it. So shift your weight into your left forearm. And now walk the left knee back a little bit more if you have any left. Maybe pad your knee up. Padding it up is also helpful here. Spread the toes of your left foot and bend the knee, pulling the heel towards your left butt cheek. So the hamstring has activated here to help you do this. So you're not on the patella, but on that soft spot just above the knee joint. Stretch your right arm way out. We've been doing that all morning. Really, really reach now. Maybe you're reaching even further than you ever did before. And then take a full breath into the back of the heart and then swing your right arm all the way around to catch a hold of the outside of your right foot. Take another full breath in and exhale. You can draw the heel in closer to the bum. One more breath. We're not coming out of it yet. We're going to spin now and take this into a deeper twist. Take another full breath into the back of the heart. Visualize your left lung, and from there, spin it to the right. Roll the right shoulder onto the left. And you can take the gaze up and breathe. You could also be up on your left hand. Sorry, I should have given you that option if you prefer. I like being down on the forearm. Woo! Okay. So I didn't know these leggings could slide so much, finding myself in a much deeper expression of this pose than I knew I could do. Marvelous, yeah? Isn't it amazing the things you can find out when you start to do the work, do the practice? One more full breath in. On the exhalation, please carefully release. Swing the right arm all the way back. Release the left leg carefully and slowly. Woo. Come up onto your hands. Oh, full breath in. Tone the belly, push down. On the exhale, take it back to downward dog. Oh, you can Shakti wave it. You can stay really still and contemplate life's choices. That's like one of my favorite lines to say. Okay, second side, left leg lifts, bend your knee, open up your hip. And then place your left shin to the front of your mat. It doesn't have to be parallel to the front of the mat, but to a degree that honors your knee, your hips, your pelvis, everything. Right knee down, walk it way back. Clear the patella, pad your knee up as necessary. Come up onto fingertips, full breath in. Really curl the heart forward and up as you draw the knees towards each other. Keep the length and come down onto the forearms, or stay up on the hands if you know that might be more comfortable for you to get the foot at the back of the mat. Breathe a whole lot here. Go ahead and bend your right knee. Spread the toes. Left arm shoots forward, thumbs up, palm faces in. Full breath in, breathe from the back, base of the lungs. Fill all the way up to the heart. And out, exhale, sweep your left hand back, reaching for the inside or the outside. Yeah, outside of your left foot. Take another full breath in, and from the right kidney, lung area, spin it over to the left. You can either press your foot into your hand, or you can pull the heel in closer to deepen the front of the thigh stretch, a quad stretch. One last inhale and exhale here, and then slowly release it. All you're going to do this time, though, is let your left hip come down. And oh, look at the time. Swing your right leg all the way around and make your way onto your back. So I just turned around so I can keep my eye on the clock. I didn't realize how much time had passed since we were playing with our bird of paradise. So with your knees bent, feet on the floor, we're just going to take it into bridge pose, Satu Bandha Sarvangasana. So feet at hips distance, take your hands and grab a hold of the edges of your mat. Okay. Press your feet down, root the head of your arm bones back. On your inhale, lift up your hips. Exhale, pull the mat apart as strongly as you can. Keep the engagement of the inner thighs. Wiggle the shoulders back and down a little bit. Keep pulling the mat apart. Take another full breath in and allow that breath to lift the chest up closer to the chin. And gently press the back of your head into the earth, keeping your neck long. Breathe deeply and fully. You can release the mat if you wish and turn the palms to face up. One more breath. On your next exhalation, slowly lower back down. If you've been doing my classes long enough, you know what's coming next. Constructive rest. Heel toe feet wider than hips. Let your knees fall in. Take both hands to the belly. Left hand, then right. Breathe into the belly. Take your hands up to just above the navel. Breathe into that space. Take both hands to the heart. Breathe into the heart space. Take your hands in Anjali, Namaskar, to the third eye for intuition. And then stretch the arms all the way up above your head. Inhale, reach, 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 and exhale. Sweep the arms all the way around to the sides of the body once again. Palms can face up. Shift both knees over to one side. Take a little twist. Tone the belly, pick the knees up, and then shift them over to the other side. Come back to center, draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a generous hug and squeeze. Really feel proud and good of yourself for taking on such a daunting task. Doing a little bit of work on the self is always challenging, but it's so necessary. Extend your legs fully, 1 foot to each corner of your mat. Arms along the side of your body with your palms facing up for Shavasana. Take a deep breath in, hold it in, and exhale, then clear it all the way out. Once again, becoming aware of your surroundings and becoming aware of your body on your mat. Starting to create movement once again. And if you have more time, you can choose to stay a little bit longer. But otherwise, you can start to move fingers and toes. Maybe move your head a little bit from side to side. And then go ahead and bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a great big hug and squeeze. And then bring your feet to the floor, make your way onto your side. And then come up and join me in a comfortable seated position. You can choose to take the form of Ganesh Mudra or bring your hands into Namaskar. The choice is yours. Just one last time, just remembering that if at any point in time when you're doing this work, and you want a little bit of help and a little bit of support or feeling heavy in your heart, Ganesh is there to support you. Take a full breath in and exhale, pull apart, lift your heart to the mudra. Ganesh will help you to remove those obstacles, to break the barriers down to the heart so you can enter the cave of the heart, to see yourself fully. And slowly release, bring your hands into Namaskar. I'd like to thank you all so much for sharing your energy with me this morning and trusting me to guide you through your practice today. Be free, be true, and always be you. Blessed be. Thank you very much, everyone. I did steal a little bit of your time.